If your blood sugar has been creeping up, there's a cause sitting on your nightstand that almost nobody checks. The water glass you didn't finish. Here's something they don't tell you at the pharmacy. After about the age of 60, the thirst signal you've trusted your entire life starts to go quiet. Your body can be running low on water and never sound the alarm. It doesn't feel like thirst. You just feel a little tired, a little foggy, while your blood is quietly running thick. And when your blood runs low on water, your body releases a hormone that does two jobs at the very same time. It tells your kidneys to stop making urine so you hold the water in, and it tells your liver to release more sugar straight into your bloodstream. So the same morning you wake up the most dehydrated is the same morning your blood sugar reads the highest. Most people blame last night's dinner. The real culprit was that empty glass on the nightstand. In 15 years of practice, I've watched people drop their fasting blood sugar without one new prescription, just by changing how and when they drink plain water. Same water, different number. So, stay with me. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to drink water to support your blood sugar. The right timing, how much you actually need, the temperature that matters, and the 3 quiet mistakes most people over 60 make every single day. One quick thing before we get into it. If you're in your 60s or you can feel 60 coming, and what you really want is to live longer, stronger, and healthier with a body that still does what you ask of it, I took everything I tell my own patients and put it into one simple plan. It has already helped thousands of people get their energy and their health back after 60. The link is sitting on your screen right now. You don't need to write anything down. Just go and have a look once we're finished here. So, let me show you what's actually happening, because once you see how water and blood sugar are tied together, every tip in this video is going to make sense. Think about what blood sugar actually is. It's the amount of sugar, of glucose, dissolved in your blood. And here's the part most people never stop to consider. That is a concentration. It's an amount of sugar divided by an amount of water. So there are 2 ways for that number to go up. You can add more sugar, or you can take away water. Same amount of sugar, less water to dissolve it in, and the concentration climbs. Your blood literally gets sweeter when it gets drier. That is why a person can eat carefully and still see a stubborn morning number. They are not always adding sugar. Sometimes they are just short on water. Now here is the hormone I mentioned in the hook, and this is worth understanding by name. It's called vasopressin. Vasopressin is your body's water-saving hormone. The moment you start running low on fluid, your brain releases it, and it travels down to your kidneys and tells them to stop letting water out. That's why your urine gets dark and scarce when you're dehydrated. Your body is rationing. But vasopressin has a second job that has nothing to do with your kidneys, and almost nobody knows about it. It also acts on your liver, and it tells your liver to release stored sugar into your blood. On top of that, it nudges another gland to release cortisol, a stress hormone that pushes your blood sugar up even further. So, a body that is short on water is getting a direct chemical signal to raise its own blood sugar. This is not a fringe idea. Researchers followed thousands of healthy adults in a large French study published in the journal Diabetes Care back in 2011. They found that the people who drank the most water were significantly less likely to develop high blood sugar over the following years than the people who drank the least. And when scientists measured vasopressin levels directly, the people with the highest levels had the highest risk of going on to develop type 2 diabetes. Low water, high vasopressin, rising sugar. The thread runs straight through. So this is the stakes for you sitting at home. If you are one of the millions of people over 60 living with a fasting number in that borderline zone, the gray area that your doctor calls prediabetes, then how you drink your water is not a small detail. It may be one of the simplest levers you have. Get it wrong and you are quietly working against yourself every single day. Get it right and you take pressure off the whole system for free. Quick favor before I give you the first tip. If a doctor sitting down and explaining what's actually going on inside your body without rushing you and without selling you a pill is something you want more of, hit that subscribe button, give this video a like, and tell me your age down in the comments. I read them, and the age of the people watching genuinely shapes the topics I cover next. So, let's get into how to actually do this. The first mistake is the biggest one, and it is built right into your body, so you cannot feel it happening. You are waiting until you are thirsty to drink, and after 60, thirst is a broken alarm. Here is the proof, and it is older and more solid than most people realize. Back in 1984, Researchers published a study in the New England Journal of Medicine where they took healthy older men and healthy younger men and deprived all of them of water for a day. Then they let them drink. The young men drank until they were no longer dehydrated, exactly as you'd expect. The older men, even though their blood tests showed they were just as dried out, barely felt thirsty and they drank far less. Same level of dehydration. The alarm just didn't ring as loud. This happens to everyone as they age. The brain's thirst center gets less sensitive, and your kidneys also get worse at holding on to water. So you can be genuinely low on fluid with your blood concentrating and your vasopressin climbing and feel almost nothing. Maybe a touch of fatigue, maybe a little fuzzy-headed in the afternoon. You'd never connect it to water. So the fix is simple, and it is the foundation for everything else. You drink on a schedule, not on a feeling. You don't wait for the signal because the signal is unreliable now. A glass when you wake up, a glass mid-morning, a glass with lunch, and through the afternoon. You build it into the day like a medication at set times, whether you feel like it or not. And if you want to actually check where you stand, you don't need a lab. Look in the toilet bowl. Pale like light straw or weak lemonade means you are well hydrated. Dark like apple juice means you are already behind and your vasopressin is already up. It is the cheapest blood sugar related test you will ever run, and you can do it the very next time you go. Here's the second tip, and this one has real research behind it for both your weight and your blood sugar. Most people drink their water with their meal in sips while they eat. The better move is to drink a big glass about 30 minutes before you sit down. 2 full cups, roughly half a liter, half an hour before you eat. Here is why it works on 2 fronts. First, your blood sugar. When you preload with water, the food you then eat moves through your stomach a little more steadily, and the sugar from that meal enters your blood as more of a gentle rise instead of a sharp spike. You are also starting the meal already well hydrated, so your blood isn't concentrating the new sugar into a smaller pool of water. The spike after the meal is flatter and flatter spikes. Meal after meal, day after day is exactly what takes the strain off your system. Second, your appetite. Researchers ran a clean trial on this, published in the journal Obesity around 2010. Older adults who drank 2 cups of water before each meal ate less and lost noticeably more weight over 12 weeks than the group who didn't. The water took up room in the stomach, so the hunger signal switched off sooner, and for anyone carrying extra weight around the middle, losing even a little of that is one of the most powerful things you can do for your blood sugar, because that belly fat is part of what makes your body resist its own insulin. So 2 cups half an hour before meals. It costs you nothing, and it works on the spike and the waistline at the same time. You are at your driest the moment you wake up. You just went 6, 7, 8 hours without a single sip, and the whole time you were breathing out water with every breath. Your vasopressin has been climbing all night. This is exactly why a fasting blood sugar, the one you take first thing, is so often the highest reading of the day, and so often the one that scares people. Some of that morning number is your liver doing its normal job, releasing sugar to get you ready for the day. But part of it in a lot of people is simple overnight dehydration, concentrating the blood, and that nighttime vasopressin pushing sugar out of the liver. You wake up, your blood is thick, and the meter reads high. We're about halfway through, so let me make the promise plain again. None of this replaces your medication or your doctor. What it does is hand you a set of free, simple habits that take pressure off your blood sugar around the clock, starting the moment your feet hit the floor. So, here is the habit. Before the coffee, before anything else, you drink a full glass of water. A big one, 12 to 16 ounces. You are topping the tank back up after the long overnight drain, thinning the blood back out, and easing that vasopressin signal back down before it does more work on your liver. And a word about that coffee. Coffee and tea do count toward your fluids for the day. That old idea that they dehydrate you has been overblown, but caffeine is a mild water pusher. It makes your kidneys release a bit more. So leading with coffee on a dry tank before any water is starting your morning by digging the hole a little deeper. Water first, then enjoy your coffee. This is the mistake I see most in my older patients, and it comes from a very understandable place. They are afraid of being up all night running to the bathroom, so they stop drinking after dinner. Then it creeps earlier. They stop after lunch. Some are barely drinking anything past the morning, sipping a little all day and going to bed bone dry. You can see the trap. By avoiding the bathroom at night, they spend the entire evening and the entire night dehydrated. which is when vasopressin climbs highest and works on the liver longest. They are trading a little sleep convenience for hours of their blood concentrating and their sugar signal running. The answer is not to drink less. It is to shift when you drink, front load it. Aim to get most of your fluids, say 70%, into your body before the late afternoon. Drink steadily through the morning and midday when your body can use it and clear it. Then taper down in the evening so you are not flooding your bladder right before bed. You get the best of both. You spend your days and your nights properly hydrated with that sugar-raising hormone kept quiet, and you still aren't up 3 times a night. And there's a bonus. Daytime hydration done right often means fewer bathroom trips at night, not more, because you're no longer concentrating everything into one panic evening glass. Everything I've told you so far assumes one thing, that what's in the glass is actually water. And for a huge number of people over 60, it isn't. This is the tip that can undo all the others if you get it wrong. Liquid sugar is the fastest way there is to spike your blood sugar, faster than the same sugar in solid food. A can of soda, a glass of orange juice, sweet tea, a sports drink, a flavored coffee with syrup in it, even the so-called healthy fruit smoothie. When sugar arrives as a liquid, it floods in all at once, and a big share of it goes straight to your liver as a sudden load. You get the sharp spike, and you get the fat storage, the exact opposite of what plain water does for you. And here's the cruel part. A sugary drink hydrates you worse because your body needs water to process all that sugar. So you reach for juice, feeling thirsty, and you end up thirstier with a sugar spike on top. If you drink your calories, that is very often the single biggest blood sugar mistake in your whole day, bigger than anything on your plate. So the rule is plain. Your main drink, your default, is water. Plain water, sparkling water, unsweetened tea, or coffee. If plain water bores you, and for a lot of people it does, put something in it that isn't sugar. A squeeze of lemon or lime, a few slices of cucumber, a handful of berries dropped in the bottom of the glass. Now, you actually want to drink it, and you've raised your hydration without touching your blood sugar. One more thing here, because it surprises people. Thirst and hunger come from neighboring parts of the brain, and the signals get crossed all the time, especially as you age. That mid-afternoon urge to snack is very often your body asking for water, not food. So, before you reach for a cookie, drink a glass of water and wait 10 minutes. Half the time, the craving was thirst wearing a costume, and it quietly passes. Now, how much? You have heard the rule your whole life, 8 glasses a day, 8 ounces each. Here is the truth about that number. It was never based on real science. A doctor traced it back years ago in a well-known review and found there was no solid study behind it at all. It just got repeated until everyone believed it. For most older adults, somewhere around 6 to 8 cups of actual fluid a day is a reasonable target. More if it's hot or you're active. And remember, the food you eat and the coffee and tea all count toward it. Your urine color tells you more than any fixed number ever will. Pale and plentiful, you're there. But I have to stop and draw a hard line now because for some of you, everything I've just said could be dangerous, and I would be doing you a disservice not to say so clearly. If a doctor has ever told you to limit your fluids, you follow that instruction, not this video. People with heart failure and people with advanced kidney disease, especially anyone on dialysis, are often put on a strict fluid limit because their body can't clear water properly, and extra fluid backs up and strains the heart or the lungs. For them, more water is not health. It's a hospital visit. There is also a condition called hyponatremia, which simply means the sodium in your blood has dropped too low. The blood gets too watered down. It's more common in older adults and certain common medications. Some blood pressure pills, some antidepressants make it more likely. Drowning yourself in water can trigger it, and it's serious. The signs are headache, confusion, nausea, feeling weak or unsteady. If you ever feel that after pushing a lot of fluids, you call your doctor. So this is the balance. For the average healthy senior whose blood sugar is creeping up, gentle, steady, well-timed hydration is one of the easiest wins there is. But if you have a heart or kidney condition, or your doctor has given you a fluid limit, their number wins always. When in doubt, you ask them, what's the right amount of water for me, specifically? It's a 30-second question, and it's worth asking. Let me make this real with a patient. I'll call her Eleanor, and Eleanor is a composite drawn from many people I've seen over the years, so I'm not sharing anyone's private details. Eleanor came to me at 66, worried because her fasting blood sugar had drifted up into the pre-diabetes range, and her last visit had ended with the word diabetes being mentioned for the first time. She was eating reasonably well, and she was discouraged. When we actually talked through her day, the picture was clear. She drank almost nothing in the morning, just coffee. She was scared of nighttime bathroom trips, so she cut her fluids to almost nothing by afternoon. And her one real pleasure through the day was a tall glass of sweet tea with lunch and another in the evening. We didn't change her medication. We didn't even change her meals much. We changed her water, a big glass first thing before the coffee, 2 cups before her meals. We front-loaded her fluids into the morning and midday so she wasn't dry all evening, and the sweet tea became unsweetened tea with lemon, which took her a couple of weeks to get used to, and then she stopped noticing. Over the next few months, her fasting numbers came down out of the range that had frightened her. Now, I want to be honest with you about what happened there, because it matters. Cutting 2 glasses of sweet tea was doing real work on its own, but so was the hydration. Eleanor's body did the healing. All we did was stop fighting it, give it the water it had been short on for years, and quiet down a hormone that had been pushing her sugar up around the clock. There was nothing magic in it. That's the whole point. Water is not a cure for anything. What it does is lift a weight that had been sitting on the scale the whole time, dragging her numbers up. So here is exactly what I want you to do starting tomorrow morning. 5 simple steps. 1. Before your coffee, drink a full glass of water, 12 to 16 ounces. Top the tank, back up before anything else. 2. Drink on a schedule, not on thirst. Set glasses at fixed points, morning and midday, the way you take a pill. Don't wait to feel it because after 60 you often won't. 3. 2 cups of water about 30 minutes before each meal. Flatter spike, smaller appetite, both at once. 4. Front load your fluids. Most of your water in by late afternoon, then ease off in the evening so your sleep stays whole. 5. Make water your default drink and get the liquid sugar out. Trade the juice, the soda, and the sweet tea for water with lemon, berries, or cucumber. This one step alone changes more than any other. And the safety line, because it matters as much as the rest. If you have heart failure, kidney disease, or any fluid limit from your doctor, their instructions override every word of this. And if your blood sugar stays high no matter what you do, take that as your signal to get in and be seen. Water supports the system. The medical care your doctor gives you is the floor underneath all of it. One last thing, and it's important. You now know how to drink your water to keep your blood sugar steady. But water is only half the picture. There's a small set of everyday foods, things most people over 60 already have in the kitchen, that actively pull your blood sugar down after a meal instead of pushing it up. Most people assume the answer is something exotic or expensive. It isn't. I made a video that names them and shows you exactly how to use them, and it's on your screen right now. Go watch that one next. Between how you drink and what you eat, you'll have the whole picture. I'll see you over there.